Oh, you know what? I've been thinking about why is it so hard for us to let things in, let the good stuff in? I can do it like little bits, but I don't seem to be able to do it like huge amounts. Well, that's not true. There was a time in my life when I was doing real estate investing, and um, I've been working doing real estate investing for a while. I'd flipped a couple homes, and I had just been really wanting to leave my corporate job. I was miserable there. I hated having to get up with the alarm clock and run and rush and do traffic and constantly on the run, and then spent hours waiting for the day to end so I could go home and actually enjoy my day. And so I was buying all these properties and flipping them, and my big dream was to um, have enough money so I could say goodbye to my corporate job. Well, I did. All of a sudden, I found this one huge deal that, you know, net me 1.5 million at least, right? And so I found all my investors and I put the whole deal together. And then all of a sudden I was getting checks in the mail, like not just little checks, like $8,000 checks, $10,000 checks. I had so many checks that I had put them on the wall and, taking copies of them. And I was like, wow, this is really happening. And so I had like $200,000 in the bank. And I said, you know what? I told my husband at the time, we can do this. We can do this. So I left my corporate job. I said goodbye, and I was scared, but I knew I had enough money to be able to sustain myself. And we bought a house sight unseen. I mean, crazy stuff we did. We were living in Seattle, and we bought this house through this realtor. We just looked at the pictures and said, yeah, we'll take it. No big deal. It was on the lake, and it was really pretty. And actually, so when we got there, we brought all our stuff and we moved my kids, and we got there, and yeah, it was a really cute house. It was a small house. Like for us, it was 1,200 square foot on the lake. A little house. In Seattle, an average house is about $400,000. In Texas, an average house is like $100,000. So for us, it was a small house. And so we got the house, and then I wanted a bigger house, want a fancy house. So we got a fancy house, and we got a fancy car and all this stuff. Life was good, and I let it in, right? But I didn't let some other things in. I didn't let the real important things that I really, really wanted, what I thought that I would get from the money in the first place, which was freedom and more time and more availability to go travel, to not have to wake up with the alarm clock, and to wear the clothes I wanted to wear, and to talk about the stuff that I love to talk about, which is woo-woo stuff, right? I didn't get any of that. So I was miserable. I had 98 mortgage payments. I was responsible for all these things. I had an accountant in my house 16 hours a day, or 16 hours twice a week. And I had employees and stuff. And, I bought a hotel, and that was just, not what I thought I was going to do, but I had this big dream. Oh, I'll just buy a hotel and la la. And I didn't get to do the things that I love to do during my day. So I realized what I had exchanged the corporate job for another job. And yes, I had more money, but I hadn't really swapped my life over to the things that I really love to do, which was, it didn't allow me to have the joy and the freedom and the space. So fast forward, you know, things happened. 2008 happened, ended up going bankrupt and losing everything, and ended up keeping the hotel, but was barely making it. And 2014, I said goodbye, because all the way, even with the money, I really, really wanted my freedom. I wanted to be able to wear the clothes I wanted to wear, not have to wear stiff suit and, high heels. And that's just not me. I'm not a big, dresser-upper. I wanted to be able to wake up when I woke up. I wanted to be able to set my own schedule. I wanted to be able to have the time in my day where I could just sit and really breathe life in and go on vacations and travel and all these things. So I'm really living that life right now. I'm waking up naturally. Some days I wake up not so naturally. I have to put the alarm clock on, but I get to wear, my comfy clothes. I get to speak to these amazing women in the world and help them have aha moments. And this just fills me up. I get to live my soul's purpose. I get to talk about woo-woo stuff. I get to talk about life and emotions and joy and happiness, and just dig in there to people's emotions and how they're going to get from A to B, and be that tour guide, and from all the, crazy mindset stuff. And I get to do that. I'm so freaking happy that that's my life. But I can't say that the whole journey was easy. And I can't say that right now I don't have new wants, new wishes for even a more expanded life, right? Now that I'm working from the base, from the most important things that I wanted in my life and the experiences I want in my life, now I can expand from that. Not expand from money, but expand from love. And now I get to choose the other ingredients very, very carefully, because I remember back then I was choosing from the lack. I was choosing because I wanted money, because I thought money would bring me happiness. Well, I was waiting for the happiness check and it didn't come. So now I have the happiness check, like every day. But now it's, now what do I want to allow into my life? I have so much less drama. I don't have any debt. It's like, I don't have any employees anymore. I work with some VAs, but the sense of responsibilities and all these other things in my life, I've opened up a lot of space. But being able to open up to more, I'm noticing the addiction to drama. Why can't I open up to more money or more travel or even less work? Like, there's all these ideas in my head and all these programs and all these belief systems that are in there, and they're like, really? So I have to go through those? I have to fight against those? And then I realize, yeah, expanding. We're constant. That is our joy. We love, as human beings, as part of the universe, to expand. We love to get bigger. We love the change. And we love to grow. We'd love to see our boundaries and then hit those and then move. I mean, the dopamine that is released from going through those walls, like, yes, I did it. You may not be excited about becoming a doctor or doing surgery or putting a car back together, but some people just love that stuff, and thank God they do, because now we have mechanics and we have surgeons. But it may not be your thing, and it's certainly not my thing. And so where do you get the ahas? Where do you get the juice out of life? Find that. Bring it in. Like, yes. And if you have fear about letting those things in, then that means that you're addicted to the drama. We have so many subtle layers of being addicted to the uncomfortableness, to the comfortableness, right? As little children, we loved our blankies. We loved areas in our lives where they were safe. Like we wanted to be held by our mom, and we wanted love from our dads. We wanted to find places that we felt safe and we felt accepted and just seen. And so when we stretch ourselves and we move ourselves to the next level, it's like we're gonna have to let go of that blankie, right? We're gonna have to just move out of our comfort zone just a little. Oftentimes people fail when they think that they can, go from $10,000 to $1 million overnight. I mean, it can happen. Some people win the lotto, but a lot of times those lotto winners just throw it away because that wasn't comfortable to them. There's an emotional status of accepting and allowing that experience into your life. And if you're not comfortable with it, you will sacrifice it. You will sabotage it because it's not the comfy blanket. You have to find that in-between process. You have to sort of slowly wean yourself off the negative, right? You have to, if you're going to move from one place to another, that's going to be uncomfortable. Your brain, your subconscious mind is your physicality. And it's like the fight between a squirrel and an owl. Your mind is only 5% of your processing power. It processes about 2,000 bits per second. Your subconscious mind, which includes your physicality, is 95% of your experience. It processes up to 40 billion bits of information per second. It is incredibly wise. So if you think about the fight between a squirrel and an owl, who's going to win? The squirrel has to get a little bit smarter, and it has to figure out things, because the owl is always there waiting. It's always there for a time to swoop in and say, okay, we're going to go this direction. And the subconscious mind is always waiting. It's always there. It is the programming of your experience. And so if you're uncomfortable with stretching those boundaries, then your mind is going to be the squirrel mind. Or your subconscious mind is going to be that wise part, and you can use your chemistry to help move those two aspects of yourself to align together and powerfully move in the same direction. Your subconscious mind is your physicality, so you can increase your dopamine, you can increase your serotonin. There's foods, there's activities, all these kinds of things that you can have that can help sort of help you move from one place to another, which is expanding that horizon, expanding that uncomfortableness. So if you're feeling uncomfortable about allowing more money into your life, find a place that you can soothe both the squirrel and the owl so that they work together, that they're not fighting against each other. So you can use 100% of your processing power towards one goal. And that means to slowly increase your dopamine and your serotonin and your calm and your peaceful state to allow yourself to move in a new direction. Use meditation to calm your squirrel mind and allow for that owl to wisely lead you and kindly lead you to the next place, that you are safe, that you are accepted, that you are loved in every step of the way. And this is all it is a new perspective. Everything in your experience is just a new place. It's a new way of being. And you can have safety there too. Notice where you have drama in your life. Do you argue a lot? Do you fight with your spouse or your partner or your family or your kids? We create all this drama externally to ourselves because then we don't have enough space and time to actually go inwards and actually spend time with the mind, the squirrel mind and the owl, and have and spend the energy that is required to help get that squirrel and the owl to cooperate with each other so that you can move to a different experience. We need energy to be able to do that. So a lot of times we will create drama and not even consciously, it will appear in our life. Oh, maybe you made some extra money this month and all of a sudden your car breaks down. Because the squirrel and the owl were not going in the same direction. We have to get them to cooperate. So use your physical body to be able to help counteract that. When you smile, you are automatically engaging the sympathetic nervous system so that it allows the dopamine and the serotonin to fill your body. So when you're a little fearful and you're doing the law of attraction thoughts, oh, I can think about this thing and think about that thing, and then all of a sudden a fear thing comes up and you're like, smile. Disengage the negative chemicals in your body. Disengage the adrenaline rush. You are so addicted to the adrenaline and the cortisol, and it doesn't need to be that way. You are not in fight or flight. You have a roof over your head. You're watching me on a video. You have time. Allow for yourself to breathe into that and allow for your reality to evolve and change and be more kind and be more receiving and more loving and more gentle and more beautiful. Right? Because life's supposed to be that way. You're supposed to be happy. I wish you all the happiness in the world today.